Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Hi, Mr. Srinivas. Very good evening. Is it audible? I believe so.
Yeah, very good evening. Yes, it is very much audible.
Very much audible.
Yeah.
So as to start off, like Mr. Prasanna has given us a call to go off. Like, well, uh, we had a technical glitch here, like nothing as such. This is Laxman Rao from Bangalore. Welcome to my show, The Interviewer, promoted by Fertile Brains, Mr. Prasanna Kumar. Today, my guest for the show is Mr. Srinivas Sambangi, who is an Aikai poet, in the sense like who is well versed in all Japanese poetic forms like haiku, aibun, tanka, renga, senryu, choka, and gogyaka. I take pride and privilege in knowing this person as a poet and in exploring the poet as a person. Ever since he discovered his love for haiku, Mr. Srinivas has been composing haiku, senryu, and other Japanese short forms, and he has published in esteemed international journals like Frog Pond, Modern Haiku, and the Heron's Nest. His poetry has won several prestigious awards, including the Vancouver Cherry Blossom Festival Haiku Contest in 2022 and a Grand Mention Prize in Haiku Crush 2023, and the first place in Sharpening the Green Pencil Haiku Contest 2023 as well. So good evening, Mr. Srinivas, and welcome to my show, The Interview. So as to start off, so I request you to give me your free some of your verses uh, in the as a pretext, as a preface, and later on we will start the session. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for welcoming me. I am honored to be here because Fertile Brains is, as I understand, is predominantly a group of very well-known free verse poets. I'm a haiku poet, a bit odd man out here, but thank you for having me here. Few
But
verses. Yeah,
poetry poetry carries the essence of all poetic forms. That's what
very
I
true.
believe.
Very true. Very true. Very true. It's a haiku is a poem of very few words.
Yeah.
I'll read a few of my favorite haiku,
Of your
but
verses.
of
Yeah.
course, I like every haiku written by me. I put the
Cool.
same effort for writing every
Yeah.
haiku, but a few stand out as my personal choices.
Cool.
But the same may not be with the case with the others because it depends on the perceptions.
They differ.
Some 4 to 5 people have given reviews on my book, but none of them picked up my favorite haiku for commentary by them. So
Okay.
it's a matter of perception. What is a
Yeah.
good haiku? It depends on the people who understand them. A couple of haiku I'll read, which I like uh, from from my book. One of them
So
is
this is from your the same book,
yeah,
Forget
yeah.
Me Nots.
Thank you
Yeah.
for showing it. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's the book. That's the
Guys,
book.
here is the book, Forget Me
Yeah,
Nots.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. um, One
So
is I wrote it. You're saying
yeah.
something?
No, no, please carry on.
Yeah, yeah. Stone Buddha, all the blows that made him.
I loved it.
Stone
I
Buddha,
loved
all
it.
the blows. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That made
And the
him.
other one, what you wrote about Buddha is all the words I can't speak to stone Buddha.
Yeah,
So
I wrote a. Yeah,
what I mean to say is like in IQ, you're not putting it straight. You're just trying to beat around the bush, something like that.
it, it is like that.
Yeah,
I don't say it's beating around the bush. We say straight. Nothing like beating around the bush, but it is up to the reader to
leader.
understand the essence of the
Yeah,
poem.
yeah, true.
As you know that it's very few words. It comprises two parts, in fact, called fragment and phrase.
Praise. Yeah,
So fragment consists of one line and phrase 2 lines.
cool.
So it's up to you whether you write fragment first, followed by phrase, or the other way. It's up to
Cool.
you. As it suits to the poem.
Yeah.
Some of the poems fragment, if you write in the as a first line, it will be more effective. But some other cases, it may be different.
So,
The
sir,
other way.
like, how did poetry happen to you?
Okay,
Either
good
it might be
question.
haiku or any other form of poetry. How did poetry
Yes,
happen?
yes, yes, yes. It's a good question. See, when I was a student,
Hmm.
I never studied literature as a major subject,
Okay,
but I had the inclination, passion towards reading a lot of poetry,
okay,
mostly Telugu poetry, occasionally English poetry as well.
okay.
But once I got a job, I left all that.
Hmm.
And until 2016, I never read any poetry seriously. But in 2016, I was browsing for something related to my technical stuff. I was an engineer. Um, so when I was looking for something, somewhere this haiku flashed.
Okay,
One of the haiku, I don't even remember what is that haiku. Suddenly I got attracted to it.
okay,
So that was the day it happened accidentally. That was the day I
okay,
decided I had to learn haiku and write
okay.
haiku.
So
Then
you mean to say like you are like a cultivated crop, like being fascinated towards haiku?
that's there in me for a long time when I was a child. But
Okay, you mean to say like the seed
uh,
was born earlier, you could know, but
earlier, but
it
why?
sprouted later on.
I can tell you why haiku, why not other forms. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. Before that, how I got into haiku poetry. I'm going to talk about that first. So I looked for various sites where they can teach me haiku.
Okay.
So I joined a poetry site called as allpoetry.com.
Okay.
So that's where I joined as a member, and there were some training sessions on
Okay.
haiku, like basic course, advanced course. I cleared all of them. So I started writing haiku. That's how I became haiku poet. And the question, why haiku, why not other forms?
Hmm.
So I think it a lot connected to with my life. Where
Yeah.
I've grown like a um, man
Man
of
of
few
few
words,
words.
man of
Yeah.
few words.
What a coincidence!
So
Like
I
we had to.
I expect people to understand me from my silence.
Cool. That's nice.
So, but poetry cannot be silent. I cannot give a white
Yeah.
paper and read it. So
Yeah.
so I had to scribble some few words
So
and let the people.
haiku poems are like characterized by their brevity. They are more of a condensed thought into a conscience and vivid expressions. This is what it means to say.
That's right.
Like what haiku
That's
is all
right.
about.
We
Yeah.
say less is better.
Better. Yeah.
We say less is better. And by saying less is better, what we also say that you can write a few more words, but the words should not be padded.
Hmm.
And
But again, you said like you're not following the pattern like 575 syllables. Like
yeah,
you would like to
yeah.
condense it in a very short few words. This is what you were saying,
Mm.
and you said like you wish to go on sound syllable format. So will you please explain on that more?
Why I will not follow 575? It's a good question. I tell you because see, Japanese, because these poems are originated in Japan, they do not follow syllable counts. They follow
Okay.
sounds.
Sounds, yeah,
And we other languages like our regional languages as well as English, we follow syllables.
yeah,
There is a big difference between sounds and syllables.
syllables, yeah.
So 17 sounds they used to write a poem, 17 sounds. And when you write haiku in 17 syllables, it becomes a very long poem.
Oh, even that's a
And
long point. You need to say.
I can give an example. I can, if you
Okay,
give me a few seconds, I can give an example.
good.
So when I read a haiku poem in Japanese and English, you can know the difference. Yeah. This Japanese
Yeah.
poem, this is the
Yeah.
most famous Japanese poem, but it's written in Ramaji.
Okay.
Ramaji means I can read the English alphabet, language is Japanese. I
Cool.
can read it. And after that, I'll read the English translation. You can understand the difference. Furuyukiye kabazu tokibomu mizu naoto. This is Japanese version. And English version, world pond, a frog jumps in water song.
Yeah.
The duration is
Saturday.
same, more or less. I think, did you
Ah,
observe that duration of reading is same?
same.
But
Yeah. Okay.
the English poem, it has 9 syllables.
Ah,
Japanese poem, 17 syllables.
17 syllables. Yeah. Even I
So,
read Japanese books like they're of 17 syllables. Sir,
Yeah.
well, coming to the next question, like how do you describe or
And
define
let
or
me give you one or two more things about that the difference. So
okay,
some study was done. It is approximately 17 syllables equivalent to approximately 12 syllables.
okay,
17 sounds equivalent to 12 syllables approximately.
okay, okay,
So then the poets decided, let's not stick to the syllable count. So let's
okay,
use the words which are not padded. Let it
okay.
go up to 17 also, no problem. But
Hmm.
it's like a one breath haiku. Before you finish one breath, you have to finish reading haiku.
Well, sir, we have
Yeah.
several other queries to go here. So, in short, like how do you define or describe poetry? How do you do that in haiku, if at all, given a chance?
Defining poetry.
Define or describe poetry.
I don't know. I don't have any definition for poetry, but it's for me, it is expression of my perceptions about nature and people
Okay.
using the right words. That is as far as I am concerned, that's poetry for me.
Okay. For me, it's like it should come as the fragrance to a flower. It's
Okay.
an upsurge flow of an emotion
Hmm.
that which you can't control within. So it's an
Hmm.
upsurge flow of an emotion. That's what I
Oh,
come.
okay. Okay.
So what's the difference that you find with free verse and haiku or else any other pattern poems? Difference.
What's the difference between haiku
Difference between
and
a pattern poems like we have
padded poem?
sonnets,
See,
like
I
sonnets,
yeah,
odes, haikus, whatsoever it is. There are pattern
yeah.
poems, and we have this free verse. Free
I
verse,
do.
from my perspective, it's like a formless form. It doesn't have any forms. Free
Yeah.
verse, it's a formless form. Like anybody can write it in any other in any way. But thing is like there should be a structure. That is what I used to feel. So
Hmm.
what do you want to say on this aspect?
Padded poem basically using a lot of unnecessary words.
Yeah.
If you want to convey something,
Hmm.
convey with few relevant words. Do not
Irrelevant
use
words,
unnecessary
unnecessary
words.
words.
So
Yeah,
when
that's
we
what I.
write, probably the draft, we may write a longer poem.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
we pare down what all unnecessary words in the poem.
Words are there. Yeah.
And also we do not use a lot of adjectives in the poem.
Hmm.
So haiku is like a wordless poem, we say, a wordless poem and a nouns poem
Okay.
and verbs poem, but certainly not adjectives and other forms of speech.
Hmm.
So
So here, in your case, like, do you first figure out the concept or the theme, or else the concept figures out the haiku? How does this happen? Like you will
uh,
be choosing a subject first and then narrating haiku, or else
or how I do is no, it's no, I
it
see
goes
an
the other way
image,
around.
no, I don't even use any concept. I see an image
Image, yeah,
and I build a poem around that image.
around that,
Um,
yeah.
I, I can give one or two examples. One day I went to a beach for a morning walk when I visited Visakhapatnam. So I found a person, a fat man, doing pranayama. So that's the image, live image I've seen. I wanted to write a poem on that, a haiku on that. So if I write something like a fat man doing pranayama, it is not poetry. It's a statement.
True.
It's a statement.
Yeah.
So I have to compare something. I have to do something, build some story around it based on my previous experiences and based on the images, live images I've seen earlier. How I put that poem is like morning beach, a fat man and a flute boy minding their breaths. Morning beach, that's the fragment.
Yeah.
The phrase part is a fat man and a flute boy minding their breaths.
Yeah. There's another poem which I read in your book.
It has, see, the nuances you have to find out here. Both are minding their breaths for different reasons.
Reasons.
One
Okay.
is for earning money, the other one is became fat and wants to improve his health.
Yeah. So in your book, I read one of your poem, like it says like deep inhale, deep exhale, balloon vendors yoga.
Okay, that's one
Okay.
of my
So
favorite
yeah,
poems as well.
you're that I liked in your book.
That,
So
yeah, yeah.
we have say about half an hour's time, sir. Just I just want to finish it off in all the questionnaire like what all we have.
Okay, okay.
So here we would like to go with the next question. Like so, why are you so obsessed with haiku and other forms? Like why
Okay.
not? Why didn't you touch another genre for that matter?
No, it's not an obsession. I equally respect other poets, other poems as well.
Okay,
But
other
as I
styles.
said as I said in the beginning, probably that's my nature. That's my
Okay,
nature. I'm a man of
you're
few
stuck
words.
over there. You're stuck
I'm a
over there.
man of few words. It's
Okay.
not that I don't like other poetry and other poets. I equally appreciate them. But why you like some dish on the plate and why don't you like other dishes? It's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your
Agreed.
nature. It's your nature.
Agreed. Again, coming to the same question, like what I mean to say is like when you are IQ poet, what happens is like you are trying to be in a condensed form. Like within few words, within a few words, you need to say that. So you will be in a puzzle sort of thing. Your mind structure will be in a puzzle sort of thing. Even I have written haikus in my book, The World Within,
Okay.
say about 100 or so. So when I was writing this poetry, this form, I was constantly in that fragment of thought, wherein like I used to condense the thought, like I used to count syllables. So that sort of thought process used to happen. So only then I thought of coming out of that. So
I
that
go
that
quite opposite way. I go quite opposite way. I don't condense poems. In
okay,
fact, my thought process expands.
okay.
As I said before, I saw a fat man.
Hmm.
So I wanted to see what all other people are, how they are minding their breaths. So it expanded.
Good.
So it is not condensing, in fact.
Uh,
It is expanding. And how I condense is if I use any padded words, as I said before, when I review my poem and edit my poem, I try to condense the words. So
well,
that's how
sir,
it
on this
happens.
note, have you brought in any of your love poems? Like,
Yeah, I wrote a few
I'm
love
very much a
poems.
sport guy.
I know. More than love poems, I wrote poems about relationships between husband and wife, etc. But
Okay,
quite a few poems are there on love. Let me read one or two.
please, please.
One poem, few.
I read it in your book. There's one
Yeah.
love poem.
I'm recollecting. Yeah, one poem. Uh, the distance between you and me, a few meters.
Ah,
Deep river.
deep river. The distance between you and me, a deep river.
No, I think I forgot the exact words. Now
Right.
I got it.
Okay.
Few meters between you and me, a deep
Okay.
river. That's
Few
one thing.
meters.
And one more poem.
Okay.
Your touch,
Ah,
how the spring rain seeps into the soil.
yeah, I found this in your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
See,
feel if some your lover touches you for the first time, how all the body shakes you,
yeah,
you will understand
yeah.
that.
John Keats says this like touch as a memory.
Yeah, yeah,
In one line he says like touch as a memory. Okay, and
yeah,
that gives a different diversification of thought. Like you can pen innumerable poems touch as a memory.
yeah.
So okay, well on that note, like
And
have you ever fell in
I
love,
can
sir?
read one more. I can read one more love poem.
Okay, well have you ever fell in love?
No, no,
No.
no. But the kind of books that you read, you get
Some
some
stimulation,
ideas to
inspiration.
write love
Yeah.
poems.
Okay.
Um, Seriously, I never fell in love.
Well, okay.
Maybe
After getting married, you fell in love with your wife.
you may like someone may like you, but not love.
Okay.
Um,
So it
one
happened for
more
you
love
that.
poem since the topic came. Her silence. She allows me to take what I like in it.
Yeah, I read this.
That's the general
Silence.
feeling you infer the meaning the way you like
Yeah, our silence. She allowed me to take what I like in it.
what I
Yeah,
like in it.
I read this in your book. That was a
Yeah,
great line. That's a great line.
yeah.
So, what do you philosophize towards pursuing poetry, sir? What is your
Uh,
philosophy towards poetry?
uh, now,
What is that you want to
my
Preach.
My way of writing is pretty simple.
Okay.
I do not write something which is not true,
Okay. You
which,
want to be honest to yourself,
yeah,
genuine to yourself.
honest.
Yeah.
There may be poetic truth because I
Yeah.
don't say that, I never say that I write whatever I see with my naked eyes, but there may be poetic truth.
Yeah.
Poetic truth in the sense that, for example, I can give you one of my poems, caught in the web, a fly and a spider.
Okay.
So the spider, that it's not true that the spider, I mean, gets caught by itself. It's not true. But you
Yeah.
have to go out of the frame. It's
True.
poetic truth. It's compared to the people. When you try to control someone, you also get control. A web of the web is in fact, I refer to samsara.
Cool. That's nice.
So no
See,
one is above.
certain things like until unless we don't reveal, I don't think like the audience or the readers will come to know. So this is where free verse comes into place, wherein like you can elaborate a little bit. But the free verse
Elaboration, see.
poets, but
Yeah.
but the free verse poets have taken it for granted to an extent where like any they are turned out to be a prose now. Now the free verse has turned out to be prose. Like Tom, Dick, and Harry, they have brought in all the journals into picture, and they are trying to read it out as poetry. This is what
The
happening as of
yeah,
now.
the basic rule of haiku is you should not elaborate.
Okay,
The reason I tell you,
it's a condensed
it's
form
it's
as we.
always called as a half-written poem.
Mhm.
The reader, based on his previous experiences, he
Mhm.
understands the way he experienced it.
Yeah,
So that's the reason we generally do not elaborate.
you
And
don't fully
I can
disclose. You
see
mean to say?
I can see a lot of commentaries on my poems, whichever award-winning poems.
Mhm.
The commentaries written by the judges way different from what I actually thought.
Okay.
Way different. So you have to leave it to the people to understand.
Yeah.
And that's the reason many people do not read haiku. But if you spend a lot of time on a single haiku, you will be able to get a lot of
They
meaning.
need to crack their brains.
Yeah, you have to go on reading and think about it. What is there
Yeah.
in poet's mind? Why he wrote it like this, and how it is applicable to my life and the surroundings. So that's how it is.
So
Uh,
as to summarize,
and philosophy. When you talk about philosophy, I generally take the issues from the society, issues related to nature. I do not directly talk about them, but I put it in the form of haiku. The symbolic meaning has to be taken by the reader.
yeah. See, even I have tried various forms of poetry, and I have stuck to sonetry. Whereas in sonetry, I have researched or else like I can say that I have done an R&D in all forms of sonetry. So
Okay.
it's a fascination for one form or the other, like which we like or feel like to pursue it over a period of time. This is what it is. So any other few poems that you would like to say, and so that on a good note we'll close it off.
Okay. You want me to read one more poem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a series, that would be far better.
It's a serious poem, very much serious
No,
poem.
not serious series. Series of one or two
Series.
series. Yeah.
Uh, okay. One or two poems is related to the same subject. Okay. It's the relation between husband and wife.
Okay.
The my first published poem is on that relationship, which was published by the end of 2016. All are past quarrels,
Yeah. I read this.
parrot talk.
Talks. Yeah.
In Telugu, we say అలకదీరి కలిసేదే అందమైన బంధం.
Okay.
So we quarrel a lot, but the next day we forget everything,
Everything.
and whatever we quarreled for that looks silly.
Yeah.
It looks like a parrot talk.
Cool. Sir. So,
So that's one thing.
how do you feel being on this show, sir? On a interview session? How do you feel?
Uh, I mean, you are talking about the poem, or
About this interview session?
about the
No, how do
situation.
you feel about being how about being how do you feel being interviewed here?
That's a great feeling. As I said before, I told even Prasanna ji, I may be an odd man out because I am the only haiku poet in Fertile Brains, and a group of very
No,
well-known
there
free
are
verse
many
poets
people
are
who are
there.
writing.
But it's an honor for me.
Okay,
It's an honor for me. So I am very glad that I am interviewed by one of my friends. That's you.
okay, thank you. So,
And
what is
this
that
is
you
my
want to
first
say?
live interview. I have given some interviews, but through question and answer written form.
Yeah. So, what is
But
that
this
you
is
want
my
to say
first
about me, sir?
about.
About me? If you have to say something.
I could see whatever I know about you. You are very talented and multifaceted, and even your profile also says that you are in many fields, and you have bright future.
Thank
And
you. Thanks a
it's a
lot.
surprise to me. You also are a publisher. So
Yeah, I
very
published my own books rather going with any other publisher.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you have many skills. I think so. You
So
have bright
hopefully,
future.
like
That's what
hopefully
you have
by the
bright
wishes
future.
of all my friends, like in the future we'll see great things happening. And on this good note, like I thank you for coming onto my show and you being my first guest. I thank you and welcome you with great gratitude and with the sincere heartfelt notes. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming to
Thank
my
you
show.
and all my friends who joined this. Paddy ma'am, Padma, all of them.
Prasanna
Thank you
sir.
very much for joining.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on to my show, the interview, sir. Thanks for making it happen. Thanks a lot.
Prasanna